ticket because you're insane, and there's no way this would happen.
Alright, game is literally about to start any second. Ready for another potential 1 hour slugfest between these two teams. Anyway, without further ado, welcome everybody to the third game in the Ultimate Team Tournament Finals. It is game 3 on Crossing in the Woods. Great map choice, I think. And 1-1 situation right now, and on the south side, Vonasten playing as the Austere and Isildur playing as OKW.
And to the north, we have HelpingHans playing as Brits, and DevM playing as Soviets once again.
Liking the Soviet choice, actually. That worked very well for them in the last game, playing as Soviets, getting that victory. They didn't do too well in the first game playing as Axis. I think it would be good from any perspective for them to win kind of like a second game as Axis. Put them in a very, very good position, if not at least psychologically. Just having that second game in hand is always a great position to play from.
And I think it's mostly due because of the fact that, Hans and DevM for the last week have just been thoroughly practicing their allies. They haven't really practiced so much their Axis because they feel it's stronger, but they need to remember Axis does require a bit of training in terms of queuing up double motors and getting Stubs on the field and keeping them alive at all times. But it all comes down to just realizing the strengths and weaknesses of your team and what your teammate is doing in the game itself.
I think they're starting to get the gist of that now. We were talking about this before the start of this game. Crossing in the Woods, do you split up and play 1v1s left and right, or do you both go over to one side and secure that? Well, that's exactly what HelpingHans and DevM have done. They've elected to go in as a team, and they should easily be able to clear out the left side and secure that, with DevM lightly harassing the right side. And looks like he might get a pretty nice flank on the machine gun there.
Oh, he forgets to reposition his MG, just leaving it there to get shot from the cons. We got the pyros coming in to prevent this, but that MG might actually get decrewed if he's not careful.
I'm not sure how I feel about all of this, because there's a great decap from Vonasten and Isildur. They're pushing behind this allied group push on the left. They're going to get decaps of these territories, which, some of these, like the munitions, are slow to cap. It's going to be a while to reconnect. And this is going to mean that allies do not get early game resources in quite a bad way. Even the VP's going down. There's going to be no connector for the fuel. And suddenly the objective has changed. It's now more of a damage control.
Oh, wow, that is a wonderful flank from the Axis on the left. They've just completely isolated the Allied pocket by the fuel, and now they're just going in from every direction to force the retreat from all sides. And this is not going to look good for Allies if they can't resolve with some support. Grenadiers trying to go for the Bren carrier. Sniper moving up from DevM.
Oh, did he leave it? I think Hans just left the Bren a little bit too late. He's gonna have to spend resources to repair that. Resources he's just spent on the Vickers upgrade.
Very well played from Hans and DevM to salvage that counter flank coming in by the Axis. Sniper and Vickers able to hold the line and now recapture their territory. Infantry section also preventing the decap of their fuel at the same time.
Interesting. I think I said this in the last game, like this could happen, because DevM previously went for the 3 conscripts. Well, this time he's gone, he's gone for the same build. So actually that doesn't really count. I was going to make a point, Von, but actually, no, it is the same. But it was good that they've gone together. I think, in a way, they made the right choice to push together. If they can group up on one side, let the sniper do a lot of work, it does do exactly what they intend in terms of eating the manpower away. But in fact, I'm actually really surprised that they didn't get that better.
No, I'm surprised as well right now. And good retreat from DevM, I have to say, preventing that flank of the stern pile and Volk from possibly killing it on retreat. Mine in the center VP does take a hit from the MG42. And I think it was a smart choice from Hans to upgrade his Bren carrier to a extra MG instead of the Wasp, because you can actually use the suppression to great effect on an open map like this. So we do have the Rakettenwerfer coming up.
Oh!
And oh! That is a huge loss for Hans. That Bren carrier and the upgrade of it going down the drain.
That was
now
a great
Raketen
play. Really, really great Raketen play.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not used to seeing it out so early. You know, in previous tournaments and things, I'd see the Raketen a lot later, and I love the fact that players are actually going for that, that kind of, you know, decisive kill of a really important unit very early on. In terms of recovery, Hans and DevM, DevM's capping the right-hand side. They will get that fuel resource because Axis just kind of completely went over to the mid and left.
We now have a Panzer II being produced by Isildur, surprisingly instead of the Stuka. And they only have the 6-pounder on the field to counter that. No guards from DevM yet either, so this Panzer II probably could be used to great effect once it hits the field.
I'm going to have to be totally honest with you, Von, the sun is setting behind me. I have like a strip of sunlight moving its way across my screen right now. I can barely see everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to follow the Volksgrenadiers in the center. Just bear with me 1 second while I close.
Grenadiers almost died to the Royal Engineers on retreat. Do get away with barely any health. Sniper taking pot shots on the Volks, forces the retreat.
Alright, we're back. Sorry about that.
We now have the entire Axis infantry army just healing by a medical bunker that was placed in their base. And now the Allies have some time while they're healing to set up defensive perimeters and recapture some of the territory they lost. So the Panzer II has hit the field, and all they have is a 6-pounder to counter it.
Let's get that first shot off.
Surprisingly, no 18-8 upgrade for DevM, and it looks like Hans is not going for the AAC this time.
Is that Luke's maybe aiming for the sniper? He's going to try and clear out that building. A little help from the Grenadiers on the right. Volks now fully upgraded with STGs. Going to push the center, and there isn't really much in the center to stop this. I feel like a lot of the actual positioning in this game from units has been quite poor because they're always leaving these big open holes for flanks like this to happen. We saw it once in the early game. Now they're taking advantage of it again. They're going to get everything on the retreat path with support from the Lukes.
Oh, the AT gun is very vulnerable to those double Volks. Panzer II looking up to see if it can clear it out with them, and it will. They don't have 18-8, so I don't think the Panzer II was aware of the fact that it can literally go straight into their base if it wanted to kill the sniper. There's an Su-76 queued though.
Surprised maybe not to see the incendiary on top of that, just so it wasn't recapped. Nevertheless, Mortar did take down 3 models. Making that pretty decisive. House taken, going to be fuel recapped. That is a great recovery from Axis.
I don't know why Hans decided not to get an AEC this time. It feels like a very bad strategic decision, especially with this Panzer II on the field. On a map like Crossing. Seems to be going straight for either a Cromwell or a Centaur.
What do we have up here? Su-76 as the tier 3 choice for DevM. Similar to what we saw successful in the previous map. Probably going to be accompanied by a T-70. That's a great choice on this map. PPSH is popping a really good time here for the Grenadier retreat. Can they slow down, get those high range damage off in the negative cover? Looks like those Grenadiers will escape. There's a really good flank on the MG42 on this side. Also going to push that one off.
Well executed by DevM, I have to say.
And this just leaves the mortar open. PPSHs are running in, the Lukes comes in to defend. I think that's very good. Preemptive rifle grenade there.
DevM still does not have AT nades teched up to try to stop the Panzer II from pushing his cons away. But I'm curious if he's trying to save for either a T-70 or another SU at this point. He also hasn't gotten double sniper. He just has a single sniper. I feel like allies have entirely misplayed. Or maybe thought it would be better to change up their strategy, thinking the Axis might expect said strategy, but it's just, you know, no AEC, no second sniper. It's really showing that it's backfiring for him.
I think interestingly, there are still a lot of VPs. There's not like a decisive VP win early in the first 10 minutes, so there's chance for comeback. You know, as long as the units aren't being lost, as long as there's still units to play with, then I think we can see it turn around. No problems at all. And I've seen that happen many, many times, especially with Hans. I think he's very, very good at turning games around from negative situations.
Definitely. And well played pushing the Axis blob off of the cutoff. We do have a Stuka now. Going straight, I believe, on the Su-76. Almost gets close enough to the sniper. Takes off a con model too.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Do like
now, I think the biggest
the camouflage on the grenadiers.
Yeah,
I really, really like that that's being used more. There's been so many years in this game where that wasn't used as an ability, and it's good. It's good that Oster can actually play tactically like that. There just hasn't been enough of that in the past.
the biggest issue for him right now are those camoed MGs and that Stuka. If that Stuka can get one good round off, it'll be very difficult for allies to come back on a map like this.
Our opponents are seizing the sector.
And as you say, Stormless, they are. Look at this. Hans is focusing on the left, and DevM is focusing on the right. Just split up in 1v1 style.
The enemy is attempting to steal our
It's interesting because they make a very good kind of like comeback for a second, where they like hold a situation, but I think the way that they then approach the map afterwards is not good, because you can see they're getting flanked constantly, they're not covering each other. Any ground that they've just made off the back of that is immediately lost. Hans is actually having to face his Vickers in the base direction to kind of put up with this.
Yeah. Funny enough, instead of going for AEC, Hans has teched grenades for his infantry sections. Not sure how much or how well that will pay off for him in the end.
Oh, what a great push on these grenadiers. They could lose the squad. PPSHs were devastating when they opened up. But it looks like we're going to see double axis fuel again. And just like you were saying, these two mortars in the center protected by the Lukes. Any kind of artillery or indirect fire from the allies is met very swiftly with the Stuka.
Ooh, Stuka goes down on the left. I think he might... Oh, he might get the sniper! Oh! The sniper just barely gets out with one man.
That Stuka is that it's not going to prevent Hans from using the land mattress. He just needs to be very, very careful. I think on a map like Crossing the Woods, where it's a little smaller in terms of its width, it's very, very high risk losing to the Stuka. We're going to see that AT grenade. DevM, does he have them available? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the upgrades.
He really needs to upgrade those AT nades, because without the AT nades, if the Stugs and the Axis armor push at the same time, the lack of snares, Hans can't snare it with Brits. He hasn't got an AT infantry section, so, and with no mines really placed except for the one by the center VP, any Axis armored pushes will be almost unpunished.
There we go, AT nades are now finished on their tech. AT gun is moving up. But how is Hans coping with this in the center? He's got a lot of indirect fire to work with. I think this is really tough for him because Brits, they don't want to be moving around like this. Maybe this is where the grenades are helping. Great grenade there. And DevM, there we go, the second sniper now in and able to help with any of those pushes that come in from the front. Conscript needs to get out of there on the right-hand side. They've just reclaimed that fuel and they're just going to lose it again with a squad wipe.
That's going to hurt DevM a bit. And I'm really surprised the VPs are actually really, like, even for both teams right now. And there isn't a decisive, I guess, advantage for either side. However, a second Stuka is in production, and that will be a thorn in the side of Hans and DevM's infantry pushes on the map.
Second Stuka, so are they really getting the value out of that? Is there no risk at all of allies getting...
No, the only way it would be risky is if they were able to dive for the Stukas with an AAC or a T-34, but they have neither, so, I mean, it wouldn't be countered by much unless it was the late game and they have a T-34.
DevM's going to bring up Tier 4. Just worried about maybe... Just trying to look at the resources now and see maybe where this can go. I mean, DevM could get a T-34 out pretty quickly.
Oh, Vickers goes down to the Stuka. And so does the AT gun. Wow. Wonderful shot from Isildur, showing he's the master of arty.
Beautiful rifle grenade in the center too. Taking down another Vickers. It's going to be a lot for HelpingHans to recruit. As far as Axis are doing here, they're also denying the recovery of support weapons on the left. It's going to force DevM to take the Su-76 to that side, and you can tell as well they're playing for the VPs. I think they're constantly trying to get VPs neutralized, so they get a little bit more time to figure out what they're going to do.
They realize allies are at a bit of a disadvantage on this map, and the more VPs they can drain from their opponents, the better they'll be able to weigh out if it goes to a game 5 in terms of choosing a faction or a map.
Loving that push by DevM on the left VP. He was able to remove one of the MGs, and now he's putting up a bit of an effort to try and push the Lukes back.
Stuka going down on the left, wipes the Vickers once again.
Oh, there you go. He actually got the AT grenade on the Lukes after all of that.
Wow. 6-pounder that was recruited by DevM getting obliterated by the double STG Volks. And is it actually gonna... Oh, I was gonna say, if that got away, does decrew it? Oh, he's gonna kill it with the Stuka, possibly. Infiltration aids going in.
See those grenades from Hans then. Got a load of Volks grenadiers, but the retreat was just in time by Isildur.
Yeah. Kills the AT gun. Pretty big win for Vonasten there.
You see this Cromwell?
Oh, we've got a Cromwell going for the Stukas, possibly. No. Hans, keep moving the Cromwell. What are you doing?
No.
There's nothing to defend these Stukas besides like a Raketin. No. Hans, no.
Isn't it so horrible when you see it from outside the player's perspective, and Hans is actually probably doing the right thing, not going, just in case there's mines or all sorts.
I know, it is a safer bet not to push it, but I mean...
To us?
To the casters, it hurts to watch, where it's like, you could have so much if you just put a little more.
Oh, is this a base? No, it was into the base.
Oh wow, it almost wipes the Bet 3 Con squad in the base.
Not sure if this T-34 wants to be pushing the Stuke there. He's still trying to deal with infantry. I think these conscripts should be able to Ura around the back of this MG. Is he even going to bother with the Ura? Nope, no need. Casually run around at these close range PPSHs. I think they'll actually
might be able to get it.
Should be able to.
Yeah, he should. Well, that's a huge blow to Axis having a free MG. Is he even... Oh, Panzerwerfer goes down on it though. Doesn't wipe anything. And the mine through all of that is actually still there. I don't know if he always detected it with the sweeper now, and oh, motor kills it. Another Stuka on the left. Misses.
Well, I'm just thinking if that Stuka that was in the central fire before actually fires on base now, it would have got so much in terms of damage to the allies. Hands in DevM.
Oh, we've got a cheeky Stuk push through attack rounding through the bush.
Yeah, it is.
No, he can't. Oh, wait, can he see it?
It's ground
No,
attack.
he can't see it.
Ground
it's a
attack
ground
through
attack,
the hedgerow. But he is gonna, I think, take an AT grenade. Maybe for trying to do
No,
that.
he gets away from it just in time. Oh, we've got light artillery going down on the Vickers. Gonna force a retreat in the center.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Oh, it looks like both the Cromwell and the T-34 are going for the Stug. I don't know if this is a bit of a over-aggression by Hans and DevM, but there's no vines. There's a Faust available. Oh, is DevM gonna go? Oh, DevM could have gone for the dive there, but he hasn't.
I have to say, I think just for the fact that they are playing the VPs so well, they're starting to get more aggressive. They've got units with upgrades. They're kind of figuring out, okay, well, actually, we're running the conscripts in now. Land Mattress just comes on the field for Hands there. You can see that unit's on. That's going to really, really help ease up any support weapons that are running around. And Allies, I really do think they can take advantage of.
I thought with these double Stukas that it would be a horrible turnout with the Allies, but somehow they've been able to dodge and weave and recrew through all those Stuka barrages and Panzerwerfers. And I have to say, they are implementing the Hoy attack strategy by the book here.
But I think the double Stuka, to me, I mean, to spend 200 fuel on that is a huge investment. I mean, where is the teching because of that? Do we even have tier 4?
It's giving the Allies an edge in terms of armor on the field because of that huge investment on artillery.
I mean, this is also... You know, Isildur actually has access to special operations flares, and he is blind firing that unit down through the center. Seems a bit of a waste, I think.
I mean, he could actually go Puma. I've seen him go Puma on a map like this before, which isn't a horrible combo with the double Stugs, because he does have the fuel for it. He is saving for the Command Panther right now, which is his original goal, but he could still afford a Puma if he wanted to, instead of the second Stuka. Ooh, Land Mattress on the left almost wipes the Raketten on retreat. And right now, just... Look at this storm. It's triple capped on BPs, both fuels capped, both munitions capped. Like, this is pretty good domination from the Allies. And we now have a second sniper from DevM. IO2 coming down. Oh, those Grens. Again, no anti-aircraft to counter this.
One of the few games we've seen that doesn't have prominent anti-aircraft. To be honest, you do see...
Oh wow, that AT nade, while those Grens were retreating on the side of the Stug, actually killed a Gren model on retreat while it's getting the damaged engine on this Stug. IL-2s just have free reign with no AA on the field to counter that. Oh, he does get a good Stuka wipe on the left of the Vickers, but not sure that's going to be enough. Not sure what that Panzerwerfer was trying to accomplish. Just shot it randomly in the fog of war.
Well, I think he was actually 100% sure about that. There was something that hit in the center. I was wondering if it was Land Mattress or... Oh, great shot from the Cromwell. Wipes an MG. I wonder if Hans is going to try and cap that. Oh, loses a couple of models too.
Just taking those infantry sections into the meat grinder there.
Oh, this has turned so fast from the game that it was not long ago.
Yeah, this is, I mean, just shocking to me personally. This Allied domination, I mean, so far, I thought at least one game would be won by Axis, but not a single game is doing well for the Axis. Even though the entire series has been mostly Axis domination. So I guess it shows people that allies can win if they're played in a well enough manner. Oh, good flare ability from the snipers. I wonder if that can reveal the cloaked grenadier.
No.
Oh, it does not actually.
No, it doesn't. But it's good that he's being cautious. He's being very, very cautious of those cloaked grenadiers and choosing to always go in with the conscripts first. And that's very sensible because they do have G43s. They will rip apart those snipers when they do come into contact. Where's the land mattress at the moment?
Oh, Panzer going down on the snipers.
Oh, it's
one. Oh! Takes off a model from both sniper squads.
Really unsuccessful land mattress trying to get those mortars.
Ooh. Good Stuka on the left wipes the 6-pounder of Hans.
What's this Katusha doing from DevM? We saw this last week. And very, very underwhelming. Very underused. I wonder if he's going to try and get it forward enough to deal with the mortars. But neither the land mattress or anything else has had any luck so far. Firefly on the field. Preparing to deal with these Stooks. Causing endless amounts of problems. I think the Su-76 actually doing a very, very good job of that with sight.
Vet 3 Su-76 is a force to be reckoned with late game.
Double fuel for the Allies as well.
Oh! Almost gets the Katusha there.
I was really expecting that might.
Oh, but the motors, Vet 3 motor gets wiped by the Katusha, and so does the Vet 2? Oh, maybe not. Caster's Curse.
Yeah, they seem to have a very firm grip on this right now. The Su-85 out if the Su-76 wasn't doing good enough. That really is going to prevent the Stooks from any kind of effectiveness. Vonasten could save up for the Ju-87s. I think they'd need to make some kind of big play.
Yeah.
You know, for that to work, they would have to do something pretty impressive.
Ooh, decent Stuka barrage on the infantry section in the center, forces the retreat of both units. Right now the Axis are just, look at this, entirely stuck in their base. It's like they're trying to get out, but they can't. They do have the left fuel finally capped, but the VP situation is where this game is going to be decided.
I feel like DevM threw that AT grenade way too early. Wait for that AT to get the first shot off. I see him do that a lot, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, he needs to kind of time that a bit better. I agree.
And whilst that's all happening, DevM is going to try and sneak around. He's got the T-34. There are Stukas and Panzerwerfers all completely unprotected.
Don't aim for the Stooks, the Stukas. Go for the Stukas and the P-Werfer. Oh, he gets the P-Werfer. There we go. He actually gets out of there. Oh, he does die, but he gets a P-Werfer in return.
I think he may have made a bit of a use of it. I'm a little bit worried. The Raketans have just caught the Cromwell off guard with a marked target.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Yeah, throwing the armor a little bit too much, perhaps, than is really needed.
I feel that wasn't a very well executed push. You probably should have waited until he had maybe another T-34 or the Cromwell to push at the same time. But, yeah, losing both vehicles does tip the vehicle advantage into Axis' hands.
Su-85 goes in for the kill, only gets the abandon.
Oh my god, abandoned Stuka. What is this RNG? Oh, I think Katusha wipes the Rakettenwerfer on retreat. Now the Allies will have a free 6-man Rakettenwerfer to steal. Ooh, Stuka's gotta be careful. Oh,
Yeah,
here comes the Su-76 and the Su-85 to finish him off. This is not looking good for Axis. However, if he overextends that SU, he does get Fausted.
Yeah, Vonasten's also having to spend all these munitions resources and things like Faust. Isn't able to call in a Ju-87, which would be fantastic right now. He's actually going to go for Sprint. Not really 100% sure on that.
Yeah,
These
this
two
red
MGs
blob
setting
is
up.
just asking for artillery on the right. He does Faust the Su-76 to death. Bit of an overextension from DevM. Good land mattress from Hans on the cutoff point for Axis. Forces the retreat of the Volks.
Yeah, this is really not the game I was expecting at all.
Yeah, I mean, if Axis can repair their armor fast enough, however, and with that abandoned Stuka being salvaged, they can get back into this game because they do have still the armor advantage. They just need to repair real quick here and grab that VP. Another Stuka might get the Katusha.
Nope.
Misses it, unfortunately.
Well, they're certainly working up the repairs pretty quickly, and as you said, Von, that's exactly what they need to do. Let's have a look what allies have. They've got the Firefly, got the Su-85, T-34. It's all on the right-hand side at the moment. Command Panther trying to...
instead of recruiting the Raketans, Hans actually used the cheeky destroy cover ability from Royal Engineers to take out the abandoned Raketan workers on the left. Shug's going balls deep on this Su-85 though. Takes it out.
That's good. I mean, he may as well commit. He may as well commit and go for that.
Yeah, he probably killed that T-34 as well. And he is sending in the Vet 2 Stug to do so, but... And it looks like...
actually, they have enough right now. I think they really do. If they go in with the Ostwind Command Panther as well, maybe to contest the Firefly, they've definitely got what they need. But one thing they don't have is the VPs. We just heard it tip down below 100. Great mine from Hans on the left-hand side, but there is nothing to finish this Panzer II Lukes off. Best scare tactics.
I don't think Axis realized just how weak allies are in terms of army comp for their armor. They could seriously just balls deep run right into killing that Firefly and that T-34 if they wanted to with the Stug.
Oh, will this be the Stuke on the snipers like we've been looking for? Oh, it is! Oh! Yes, it is! Both squads at the same time. Axis suddenly springing into action. The Stug pushing the field, and it's able to contest the Firefly. And the T-34 just on its own, really. Well, this has gone back and forth again. VPs. Triple cap's going to go on with the Sturmovik coming in. Still no anti-air. Well, other than the Ostwind. I suppose that counts.
I think this was a
Tier 4's
massive
just
throw
going
by
up.
the
That will
ally.
help. Yeah, do you know what? I think they threw too much armor at a really critical point, to be honest. You know, when they went in with the Cromwell, losing the Cromwell, using the Su-76, using the Su-85, a little bit too aggressive maybe sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I think allies need to realize they have to be a bit more defensive now that the Axis have pushed out a bit.
Did that just fall on the Panther? Kamikaze there to take down the Command Panther.
All other tactics have failed. Use whatever tactics necessary to kill the Command Panther.
Yes.
Another Stuka dead in the center.
Oh, look at the land mattress.
Oh, here comes the push. Medium vehicles from the Oster. There seems to be a bit of a pathing issue. Really, I think the Ostwind would have been the one that wanted to go forward then.
You should probably clear that AT gun before pushing there. Vonasten, I wouldn't... Yeah, that was a pretty bad play with his armor.
Orders complete. Points remaining. Tactical adjustments need to be made.
75 VPs left. And, just as we were seeing a bit of aggression from the Axis, allies start to pump up as well. They're actually making a push that is forcing Axis, forcing Vonasten back to his base. You think this is a bait
push from DevM? He might lose the T-34 if he's not careful, and he does. Now the Stugs are going on the offensive. The AT needs one of them, but the other two Stugs could still push. This Firefly
Command Panther's going to get that Katusha. Makes a very good dive.
Oswin. He's actually going for the Firefly now. The Firefly could actually die here if he's not careful. He has no tulips to stun. Man Panther comes in and... Oh my god. The entire allied... Oh my... There's no more armor left for allies. They just got decimated by the Stug, Sufus, and the Command Panther. Pretty sure if Dane was watching this game, he'd be having a serious Axis boner from the amount of destruction that these Stugs have caused for the allies, and I think it was a serious misplay from DevM not trying to lay mines to defend the push or get more Su-85s instead of T-34s.
Oh, and the land mattress goes down. That was a really, really decisive push. I mean, what a way to play that game. Isildur had... I just think that was so intelligent to get the Command Panther through the center at that moment. They still have some work to do. They've still only got 35 VPs. They can't just throw in the towel after a great push. They still have grounds to go.
They do, but I mean, they're
not really pushing it.
They have absolutely no armor. They're building a T-34, but I mean, and a Firefly, but... there's no way they can get back unless they completely throw all of their armor as the Axis. But right now they just need to suicide everything into the DPs. That is their only way to win. And I think with this lack of Axis infantry.
What's the Katusha do? Sorry, the Stuka do?
Oh god, yeah, the Stuka getting a bit too ballsy there, not realizing there's a T-34 now. Light artillery barrage going down on the center VP.
Are we seeing a close range Stuka as well?
Ooh. Tries to get the kill of the Stuka. Light artillery barrage could kill this Khan on retreat though, doesn't. Hit the dirt right on the center VP with land mattress to support. Does force the Axis to fall back.
Gosh, they've just got to keep the infantry off of these points. The conscripts there hit the dirt is on. Command Panther, if it wants to, could probably go in and crush them, but risky.
Look at this munitions float from Hans. He can lay so many mines to defend the flanks from like this Panzer II push with all these munitions, or at least use the advanced cover combat ability on his doctrine, but he's not. Panzer II trying to survive with its life, 1% health, T-34 probably going to kill it, and it does. Vet 5, rested pepperonis.
Well, there has to be some kind of push here, because allies, they do still own the points.
They do, but this Ostwind's going to be a big pain in the butt without armor to keep it back or AT guns. We got him down to 23 VPs. IL-2 coming in from DevM. Infiltration aids wipe the Khan. Land mattress coming in as well.
The IL-2 took the Stuka hits.
Oh
I actually got that on camera. The IL-2 fully took the Stuka hits and survived.
Played with the Stuka and wait, it lived?
It took the Stuka hits. Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Do you know what? I've seen a Ju-87 take a B4 before and not die, so...
I guess advanced aircraft technology from the assault jets have allowed their aircraft to take any type of artillery fire a lot better.
VPs are still in Allied hands.
Oh god, what the...
How are they letting this
Axis-
happen?
Okay, they are decapping the left VP at least, but they're down to 18 VPS, and they need to get some sort of defensive line on the VPs to prevent the Axis from camping it again. Or else this will be a game lost, and it would be humiliating at this point after that marvelous Axis push with their armor to just lose because of that VPS drain.
It's, yeah, I think this is going to be it. I would hope, absolutely hope this is going to be it. Command Panther going in, giving some buffs to the Stoop. If it wasn't already strong enough, Firefly struggling to deal with
Bed
this.
3 Stoop max range almost finishes off the Firefly. T-34 trying to flank the Stoogs, but can't penetrate that Krupp style armor that they have on their side skirts.
I would love to see a Stuka, you know, or a Panzerwerfer finish off the remnants of the Allies. But I don't think we have one available. Oh, we do.
And Hans seems to be pulling a Barton, calling in a second land mattress instead of getting more armor on the field. Unfortunately, he's going to learn the hard way, as of my glorious teammate Barton has, that building more land mattresses does not counter Axis armor on the field, as much as I'd like it to.
I think there's a great infiltration grenades there. Quite do as much as I thought they were. One of the great things I think we're going to see happen here is that it's not worth DevM and Hans throwing in the towel here. They've still got units. They may as well fight.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
this Artie, though, is going to kind of slowly but surely dwindle the amount of units they do have on the field, and they're going to need to be quick in utilizing what they have to cap the VPs. But I think at this point it's game over, and just what's most depressing about this Stormless is that they had this game in the bag, but they were a bit too over-aggressive towards the end, and they let the Axis heal from their wounds and just decimate them in one fell swoop.
Indirect fire here is a killer. It is a shame, but then again, they're still making huge pushes for the VPs. They are really, really giving it a lot. And actually, somehow, how on earth did he manage to survive that with hit the dirt in the middle? He's pushing ground on the left. There's light artillery fire coming down, but they might get decaps.
Yeah, they actually will be able to decap the left, but their land mattress is dropping on the MG. However, they haven't been able to decap the center, though, and are going to be forced to retreat.
There's a lot of time for them to play with. I mean, they may as well just keep attacking these VPs. You know, but if they're going to keep trying to cap like that, that's a little bit too desperate.
You just gave them a free Vickers, not going to help the situation in terms of keeping the Axis off the BPS. In fact, that has now allowed them to defend the BPS with something allies probably don't want to be playing against.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
I'm surprised as well to see Axis there. I wouldn't want to say laid back, but they could be doing a little more than that. We know where that Panzerwerfer is going. Big hits in the center. Another Stuka.
Ooh. Wonderful barrage there. Panzerwerfer also coming down. Annihilates a Khan and the MG for DevM.
They're gonna have to throw in soon. They're gonna have to. I think that was too much, surely.
Yeah, look at how many kills the Stuka has. 57 kills on this Vet 4, almost Vet 5 Stuka. And look, I just realized Vonasten stole the abandoned Stukas.
Yeah,
now he's got an austere version of the Stuka. So the Stu's going in for the kill. Hans tries to counter with some tulips, but sadly misses.
Scarred the battlefield is.
Uh-oh. Main gun destroyed on the Firefly. Could die to the Bed 3 Stu. Ooh, last shot just misses it on retreat.
They got the
Lucky
special
for
operations flares up, so they are long
Oh.
spotting. They do get it.
Jägerpanzer does get the final shot, though, on retreat. And they're trying to recrew the abandoned T-34, but the Axis have noticed this. S-285 goes down. This is... DevM's trying to go for the right BP, but it's impossible without camping any other VPs at this point to even attempt a fruitless decamp.
Kind of makes it more painful. Like they're really fighting for
You
it.
can just see how desperate they are in this time of Axis domination. It's just
Indirect
amazing.
fire has been incredible. Really.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice to see. Do you know what I mean? Just so much indirect fire. You don't get to see, I think, this much of it.
I mean, just look at the battlefield. Look at all these craters and destroyed land. Like, the map looks like a completely different map after all of this already being used throughout the 45 minutes of this game. Both cons go down to the Austrian on the right. Land Mattress trying to stop the Axis from suppressing in the center VP, but fails to do so. But it's just, again, amazing that how one engagement can turn the tide and create a massive comeback for what looked like to be a supreme Allied victory on Crossing in the Woods. And I was afraid that this was actually going to be a series where only the Allies wins every single game, but praise RNGesus. We've got an Axis win, boys! Axis is back on the menu!
Why not throw it in for the finals? We've waited all the way up to this point to see a balanced series. So credit to them. I'm just going to turn the gain up on this, seeing as we're a little bit more in the dark now. There we go. Yeah, well, game 3. It's 7:30 already. That was the end of game 3. It's going to be a pretty heavy best of 5 series. I would say, I mean, like, given how DevM and Hans played Axis before.
I gotta say, Vonasten's Stug play just carried that game at the end. The effectiveness.
Who do you think?
I honestly believe